Well, good morning, everyone. Glad to be here today. My name is Leland Pinder. I anchor and report at CBS 6 News in Richmond, and I don't think I've been to Chesterfield yet, so I'll have to drive around some when I leave to see the area, but thanks for having me this morning. I've been in town just a couple of months. So today, I am excited to share with you that Chesterfield County is proud to be known as the first local government in our region to have such an expansive track record of annual Black History Month celebrations. With community support and partnerships like Virginia State University and many others, the county has showcased this event for 33 years, and this year's national theme is Black Health and Wellness. And you can also download this program online after it's over today. Black History Month program here in Chesterfield has won state and national awards for its creative presentation and quality content. The program also has served as a model in developing other cultural awareness celebrations in the Richmond area. VSU and the county appreciates its partners in this venture, the corporate and individual sponsors that provide money to support this program, and the employees and volunteers who work so hard to make these events possible. Some of those sponsors are here today, so let's acknowledge them. And so to begin our program, let's all welcome the Honorable Christopher Winslow, Chair of the Chesterfield County Board of Supervisors, to welcome us and bring greetings on behalf of the county.
Well, thank you, Leland, and good morning. I got one good morning, but y'all need some coffee. On behalf of the Chesterfield County Board of Supervisors, welcome to the 2022 Black History Month Scholarship Recognition Program. I'm Chris Winslow, Chairman of the Board and very proud representative of the Clover Hill District. I'm honored to be here and provide greetings on behalf of the 365,000 residents of Chesterfield County. I also see a couple of my fellow board members with us this morning. We affectionately refer to them as the Jims. We have first Mr. Jim Holland of the Dale District and Jim Engel of the Bermuda District. So I want to welcome them, as well as our chairwoman of the school board, Miss Ann Coker from the Bermuda District, and welcome Ann. Our county administrator, Dr. Joe Casey, and school superintendent, Dr. Merv Daugherty, asked that I extend their regrets for not being able to join us this morning. Their busy schedules would simply not allow it. However, we are pleased to have with us Dr. Lisa High, Chief of Schools. And good to see you, Dr. High, again. I think the last time I saw you was at graduation. I do know that I echo the sentiments of the entire Board of Supervisors when I extend the warmest of welcomes to all who have joined us this morning, including those attending in person and the many who are watching the live stream of this event. And that includes the 6 outstanding young people we're recognizing this morning with the Leadership for the 21st Century scholarships. And we all know how important scholarships are along the way, don't we, getting across the goal line. It goes without saying that this event and the many others slated as part of our Black History Month celebration would not be possible without the outstanding support of Virginia State University. And we are honored that VSU's president, Dr. Mikola Abdullah, is with us this morning. We are just so fortunate to have such an excellent university call Chesterfield County home. And we are extremely proud to call VSU a partner in so many things that wouldn't happen were it not for VSU's long-standing support, collaboration, and leadership. Dr. Abdullah, welcome, and thank you for leading that outstanding collaboration and leadership. Appreciate you. Yeah. We are also honored to have Dr. Lauren Powell with us this morning, who I just met. Dr. Powell will be officially introduced shortly as our featured speaker, so I will suspend with any details about her outstanding service to the Commonwealth, other than to say Chesterfield is honored that she could be with us this morning and that we are looking forward to her sharing her insight and wisdom. There are two others I'd like to quickly recognize because behind the scenes, this event and so many others occurring this month would not happen. And that's, of course, Chesterfield's very own Kimberly Conley, who is Assistant Director of our Citizen Information and Resources Department, and Jordanis James, the Conference Services Director for VSU. Thank you both for your leadership roles on the Black History Month Committee. Even during a pandemic, which we are hopeful will go away soon, the variety of community programs and activities offered during Black History Month is truly incredible. We have art, music, dance, presentations, and book discussions, just to name a few. This ceremony is just one of many opportunities we have to celebrate our community's rich and diverse African-American heritage and bring special awareness to this year's theme, Black Health and Wellness. It is because of the courageous conversations about the impacts of race on physical and mental health that we begin to address challenges such as health inequity, racial injustice, and economic disparity. In closing, I want all to know that in addition to VSU's longtime support, we know this event wouldn't be possible without the support and cooperation of all of the outstanding businesses and individuals, as well as the dedicated community groups all working together in unison to make Chesterfield prosper. Thank you for highlighting the significant role and impact African Americans have made on society and understanding the importance of culture and history, our history, right? Our history. Again, welcome to you all. A big congratulations to our scholarship recipients, and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that welcome, Mr. Winslow. And at this time, we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and that'll be followed by the National Anthem, sung by Miss Abigail Williams, Senior at Manchester High School. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Miss Williams will come to us via video.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And my apologies, that was Amaya Gillam of L.C. Byrd High School. And at this time, let's welcome Dr. Kenneth Cooper. He is the pastor of Spring Baptist Church to give us our invocation.
Good morning. Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, thank you for this opportunity to bring the community together to celebrate Black History Month. We thank you for the partnership of Virginia State University and Chesterfield County, for each and every one who is in person and those who are experiencing our gathering in the digital world. We thank you and ask that you would bless our speaker for this morning, Dr. Lauren Powell. We thank you for every recipient of this scholarship, their families, mentors, and support systems. We thank you for the awesome opportunity to invest in the next generation, and that you would bless every awardee and continue to endow them with the gifts, talents, and intellect to make a difference in the years to come. Now, O God, strengthen us to do what we can do. Please do for us what we cannot do. Forgive us when we fail to be all that you have asked us to be. And please be so gracious to give us another chance in doing your holy work, to do justice and to love in mercy. Amen.
Thanks so much, Dr. Cooper. And right now, pre-pandemic, we would typically gather for a nice hot breakfast at Virginia State University, catered by Thompson Hospitality. But we're not going to do that this year for obvious reasons. But we're still so happy to be able to have this event, and we're going to keep going this morning. And hopefully next year, we're back for the whole enchilada. Right now, let's welcome Odaija Allen. She is a VSU junior, mass communications and sociology major, and she'll share a Black History Month spoken word tribute.
Good morning, everyone. Black is more than a color. Black is the skin pigmentation called melanin. Black is nothing to be afraid of, but is exercised as a threat. That threat is a form of manipulation to hinder the true greatness, beauty, and power that was embodied by our ancestors. That threat is really a greatness, beauty, and power in which is passed down in spirit to future generations. Black is when future generations keep our ancestors' legacies alive, regardless of those who try to perpetuate the manifestations left behind. Black is of the essence of art, but I would consider it a quintessence pertaining to the near perfection, but that is in the eye of the beholder. Braiding, painting, cooking, creating, and developing, and many other forms of expression. Expressing one's lineage, journeys, and traditions, something that will forever be appreciated and valued by our legacies, something that will continue to be appropriated to piracy. Black is the representation of leadership. Leaders are born naturally and are influenced by wisdom. They have moral ethics and support the idea of freedom. Leadership that is seldom given the circumstances of the oppressors. Leaders overlook oppression and accept any given challenge with pleasure. Leaders accept the burdens and accomplishments from the present and past. Leaders are chosen by a higher power to show followers the path. Black is strength, knowing the necessities to enable ourselves to maneuver through the obstacles created by the enabler of natural-born rights who play God. Having the strength to accept challenges of being Black and having the heart to wake up and work 10 times harder. Yeah, I know it's a lot. Not having the privilege or the same privileges to succeed in the land of the free. It takes great strength to live life being knowingly deprived from equal opportunity, but expected to die front line, Black is power.
Thank you for those moving words, Odaija. Let's now welcome Dr. Mikola Abdullah, president of Virginia State University. He'll bring greetings on behalf of the university. And then after that, the gospel chorale will offer a musical selection in a Black History Month tribute.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the faculty, staff, students, supporters, parents, and friends, I bring greetings on behalf of Virginia State University. Many times when we think about Black history, we think about the big things that happen, the large events that make news or make our history books, such as the founding of Virginia State University in 1882 by Alfred W. Harris. such as the first black billionaire, Reginald F. Lewis, who graduated from Virginia State University and went on again to be the first black billionaire. Again, like four-star General General Dennis Vi, who was a member of the Warrior Battalion in ROTC at Virginia State University. But we know that history is more than just the big things. History is the preservation and the keeping of our culture and traditions, a capturing of the present. In that way, we know that what just happened with our wonderful, wonderful spoken word artist, Miss Allen, is also a form of black history, and that every single day of the year across Chesterfield County, and particularly at Virginia State University, that we continue to make black history every single day, every single year, to make sure that we can continue to move our nation and our communities forward. I'd like to thank Chesterfield County and all of our partners in Chesterfield County, particularly our Board of Supervisors, represented here by our chair, and of course our Jims who are here, and Jim Holland especially, who is a graduate of an historically black college, I think North Carolina Central, albeit that is not Virginia State University. We will not hold that against him today. And of course our supervisor, Mr. Kevin Carroll, for all of the partnership and the work that they do to make sure that Virginia State University remains viable here in Chesterfield County. And also I'd be remiss if we didn't thank Kim Conley, who has already been thanked, who is a wonderful graduate of VSU, and helps to keep our partnerships together. We are so proud to be here, to be a member of the community in Chesterfield County, and we're so pleased to be here to be a part of the program today, and I look forward to seeing more of the program. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Dr. Abdullah. And at this time, we are going to hear from the Honorable Ann Coker. She is the chair of Chesterfield County School Board. She'll present our keynote speaker, Dr. Lauren Powell, former director of Health Equity for the Commonwealth of Virginia, and the president and CEO of Equitist. Ms. Coker.
Good morning. It is my honor to bring greetings from the Chesterfield County School Board and to offer congratulations to our Black History Month scholarship winners and their families. Chesterfield County Public Schools honors diversity and the significant contributions of African Americans past, present, and future. It is my further honor to introduce Dr. Lauren Powell, who is making significant contributions in the area of health equity and who was recently named among Fortune 40 under 40 in healthcare. Dr. Powell serves as the president and CEO of the Equitist, a consulting firm dedicated to infusing the tenets of health equity in healthcare leaders, institutions, and systems. As the founding leader of the Equitist, Dr. Powell helps systems and leaders move from embracing health equity in theory to action. She does this by working with organizations to establish equity enrichment plans, delivering keynote speeches, navigating public health crisis intervention, and connecting healthcare leaders and advocates with community needs. Formerly the Director of Health Equity for the Commonwealth of Virginia, Dr. Powell was the youngest Black woman and the first with a PhD to serve in this powerful role, leading statewide strategic plans and initiatives toward pushing Virginia residents closer to health equity. We are so pleased that Dr. Powell is a part of our Black History Month event and look forward to her insights. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Lauren Powell.
Well, good morning. It's so lovely to be in person. This is my, I think, first keynote in person in over 2 years. So really good to see you all, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation. A system cannot fail those who it was never meant to protect. These words uttered by American sociologist W.E.B. Du Bois in the early 1900s certainly apply to Black America's experience navigating many of our social systems. but none more profoundly so than the US healthcare system. Often rounding out at the very bottom, African Americans rank worst in health outcomes for nearly every health condition we could name. From chronic conditions like diabetes, hypertension, and asthma, to cancer, cardiovascular disease, and more. This disproportionate burden of chronic diseases and the health ailments shouldered by the Black community continues to be a profound injustice. And the narratives attached to it are just as troubling, many of which I've heard spoken verbatim in the many private meetings and exclusive tables I've sat at in my career. Perhaps there's a genetic difference that makes Black people more susceptible to disease, they say. Health and wellness just must not be important to Black people, they say. Well, we've told them how to control their diabetes, given them their prescriptions, and they just don't want to be better, they say. And I say, you're wrong. A system cannot fail those who it was never meant to protect. The word protect is derived from the Latin word protegere, a combination of pro meaning in front and tegere meaning to cover. So when you protect something, in a way you're covering it or shielding it from harm. To protect means to keep safe from harm or injury, or to preserve or guarantee by means of formal or legal measures. But the healthcare system has done anything but protect Black lives, when it was in fact built on the backs of them. A legacy of racism and race-based treatment in healthcare has been the foundation of this, our US healthcare system. Leading scholar Dr. Kamara Jones defines racism as a system of structuring opportunity and assigning value based on the social interpretation of how one looks, which we would call race, that unfairly disadvantages some individuals and communities, unfairly advantages other individuals and communities, and saps the strength of the whole society through the waste of human resources. The harmful system of racism is one that has been undergirded and formalized by the healthcare system itself. This is Black History Month, and so I invite you to walk with me through our history to understand how. Some 400 plus years ago in 1619, the first group of enslaved Africans arrived in the then colony, now Commonwealth of Virginia. This would mark the beginning of hundreds of years of torture, slaughter, and annihilation of Black people in America. For some 180 plus years, the importation of slaves was permitted in America. But in 1807, a United States federal law called the Act Prohibiting the Importation of Slaves was passed, and it was enacted the following year. Now, it technically said that no new slaves were permitted to be imported into the United States, technically. Now, I want to pause and remind us, we're not talking about trading perhaps produce. We're not talking about trading avocados or limes or oranges. I want to remind us that we're talking about actual people here, and an entire population of people who were seen and treated as goods. To that end, the 1807 Act prohibiting the importation of slaves presented a challenge for slave owners. Prior to this, they could replace aging or injured bodies with newly imported ones. But this act made that a bit more complicated. This shifted their focus from importing to procreation, and an invested interest and focus on keeping women of childbearing age in particular healthy and alive. A system cannot fail those who it was never meant to protect. Fast forward to the 1850s or 1900s and the history of eugenics. Eugenics was a process of improving the genetic quality of white European races by removing people deemed inferior. Carl Linnaeus and many other scientists led this charge, which gave rise to scientific racism. A fallacy argument created that the alleged empirical evidence to support or justify racism was based on cranial size or nose size or shape. And this gave rise to the overarching notion that Black people were inferior. Eugenics, I should also remind you, is associated with the genocide of the Holocaust. But many of its foundational teachings actually started in the US and were aimed at Black people. Creating a narrative about Black bodies as commodities or goods as a result of slavery, and Black people as physiologically inferior as a result of eugenics, paved the way for an era of experimentation on Black bodies that ultimately built modern medicine. We can start with the legacy of Mrs. Henrietta Lacks, a Black woman whose cells were harvested without her knowledge or consent, but went on to create the first human cell line. Her cells, known for years and used as HeLa cells, which stands for Henrietta Lacks, are still alive today and have contributed to creating everything from the polio vaccine to the HPV vaccine and even to the COVID-19 vaccine. While her cells have been used widely for medical breakthroughs and discoveries, her family remains largely uncompensated for her contributions. She is actually the matriarch of modern day medicine, and little known fact, she was from Virginia. Experimentation was not only relegated to the living, but also the deceased. Body snatching, particularly from Black cemeteries because they were segregated, was a practice of medical schools. In order to have cadavers for anatomy and physiology courses, schools employed what they called resurrectionists to steal the bodies of Black people under the guise of medical advancement and learning. Other examples of experimentation on Black bodies included the medical experiments of J. Marion Sims, who was often heralded as the father of gynecology, who conducted his experiments on African enslaved women, the names of whom are largely unknown with the exception of 3, Lucy, Anarcha, and Betsy. It is said that he performed procedures that we still use today on his subjects as many as 40 times without anesthesia or any pain medication. The most infamous of these examples is the United States Public Health Service Corps Commission study of untreated syphilis in Black men at Tuskegee University. Most notably, it was an unethical natural history study conducted from 1932 to 1972, in which the purpose of the study was to observe the natural history of untreated syphilis. The Black men who participated in the study were told that they were receiving free health care from the federal government of the United States. And when a treatment, penicillin, was discovered in 1947, it was not offered to the men. From these examples to maybe even some stories you can share from your own personal and family experiences, the U.S. healthcare system was never built to protect Black people. 400 years of navigating a foreign and stolen land, 250 years of slavery, 90 years of Jim Crow, 60 years of separate but equal, 35 years of racist housing policy. And yet, we're still here. Despite the ways the healthcare system has never been crafted or created to care for and heal Black people, we harnessed our tenacity and ingenuity towards solutions for survival, creating healthcare institutions to provide us the dignified care that was often denied in places such as Provident Hospital, the first Black-owned and operated hospital that opened in 1891 on the south side of Chicago, or Howard University Hospital, founded in 1862. It's estimated, at its height, there were more than 500 Black-owned hospitals and healthcare training facilities. As of today, Howard University Hospital is the last one standing. We defied all odds and made history in the process, like Dr. Rebecca Lee Crumpler, who in 1864 became the first Black woman in the US to earn a medical degree, Or Dr. Charles Drew, a surgeon and medical researcher who pioneered drug transfusion techniques and fought for desegregation and blood donation. Our scholarship honorees also remind us of examples of Black excellence in their essay responses, such as Dale District Scholarship recipient Amy Gillam, who elevates the legacy of Dr. James McCune Smith, America's first Black physician, and Regional Area Scholarship recipient Timothy Daniel, who challenges us to pay homage to psychotherapist Dr. Russell Hancock, who was a leading voice in Black mental health. Since a system cannot fail those who it was never created to protect, to keep it from a continuous loop of failing, the system needs to change. And that's exactly what I fight for every day. My company, The Equitists, exists to advance anti-racism and health equity in healthcare. A note here that I fight for equity, not equality. Though they are similar sounding words, they have very different meanings. Let me share an analogy about shoes, which I happen to like. Equality is giving everyone a pair of shoes, but equity is giving people shoes that fit. Health equity means making sure everyone has the conditions to live their best, healthiest life, making sure the resources they have fit their needs. At the root of working towards health equity, it requires us to grapple with the way society has been purposely built to exclude certain communities. That means removing the barriers that make health and wellness the exception in Black and brown neighborhoods and not the norm. Addressing life-threatening issues like environmental racism and how this leads to the concentration of pollutants and toxic biohazardous chemicals in Black neighborhoods, as Clover Hill District Scholarship recipient Langston Minor reminds us in his essay responses. These barriers are what we call the social determinants of health, which are the social and living conditions that have more of an influence on your health than the 15 to 20 minutes you may spend occasionally with a healthcare provider. Everything from employment status, stable, affordable, and clean housing, to your access to transportation, impacts your health outcomes. Because of the intricately woven tapestries of interpersonal, systematic, and institutionalized racism deeply stitched into the foundation of the United States, these basic necessities are often purposely out of reach for the Black community, making it harder, if not practically impossible, to live a life of prosperity, health, and wellness. Racism is, in fact, not a public health crisis. It is an emergency. The movement of health equity challenges healthcare and public health institutions to atone for the ways it's caused intentional harm to Black bodies, to explicitly call out and root out racism wherever it exists, and to reframe our narrative from a deficit lens to an asset-based one. A shift from patient shaming to system blaming, recognizing that people don't inherently choose to be impoverished or homeless or part of the working poor, that there's a larger system at play that makes this a reality, and it's concentrated within certain communities. A health equity lens challenges us to distribute resources according to need and tailored fit versus a one-size-fits-all approach. And while things are changing, they're not changing fast enough, which is why we need your help. Now, up to this point, you may have been sitting in your seat fidgeting, even realizing how short your attention span has become given 2 years of Zoom meetings, and saying to yourself, Dr. Powell, this is really interesting and nice to know, but what does this actually have to do with me? Well, thank you for asking. Because the answer is everything. It has everything to do with you for a few reasons. You should care about health equity because, one, a healthcare and public health system that doesn't work for everyone works for no one. Two, the health of my neighbor is directly tied to my health as well, which we've seen in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. And three, racism is a public health emergency. It isn't just a Black problem, it's an American problem, and we all have a role to play in addressing it. Here's what you can do about it, because I like solutions, not just problems. You can champion diversity, inclusion, equity, and justice wherever you are. Notice I didn't stop with just diversity and inclusion. Diversity is not a synonym for justice. It is a check-the-box corporate strategy rooted in metrics that often lead to tokenism. True change comes from redistributing power through equity and creating an environment free from oppression altogether, which is justice. We need equity and justice accomplices in every single sector. Remember, I mentioned the social determinants of health and all the social and living conditions outside of access to health care that impact health. Some of you are leaders in these sectors, and your commitment to equity in hiring and philanthropic giving can have generational impacts on marginalized communities, which certainly drive health and wellness as well. You can find ways to uplift community voices or those who aren't at the table wherever you are. Take inventory of the tables you're at and notice who's missing or may be present but not empowered to speak up. Embrace the concept, nothing about us without us. Commit yourself to cultural humility. None of us can ever be competent in anyone else's culture or even our own. Commit yourself to humility in exploring other cultures and communities. To my student awardees, Kiani, Langston, Amaya, Nicole, Agabi, and Timothy, first of all, congratulations on your selection as scholarship recipients. Not only that, but you survived the whole pandemic and are pushing to the end to complete your high school degrees with perseverance. I know a little something about disruption because Hurricane Katrina interrupted my senior year of college at Xavier University of Louisiana. So I know some of the challenges you've been facing personally, and I am so proud of each of you. You have such bright futures ahead of you. And thank you for your insightful essays lifting up important people and topics in Black health and wellness. A few words of encouragement for you as I come to the end of my remarks. Education is freedom and a right our ancestors died for. Continue to relentlessly pursue yours. Voting is also a right our ancestors died for and is incrementally being stripped away from Black people in this country. Please exercise your right to vote in every election. Seek mentors and professional development opportunities now. It's never too late to start thinking about what you want to be when you grow up. And in the same vein, be open to educational exploration and curiosity. Maybe the path you start down won't stay the same, and that's okay. You don't have to have it all figured out. And I'm more than willing to share my advice and my story with you anytime, so please count me in your corner of support from here on out. And have fun. This should go without saying, but oh my God, really, have fun. Take new courses, study abroad if you can, try new foods, get to know you. Ground yourself spiritually. The road will get rough, the going will get tough, and the hills will be hard to climb. But know that your worst day doesn't compare to our ancestors' best day, and keep going. Take care of yourself physically, spiritually, and mentally, given the recent very public young people in the Black community who have taken their own lives. I want to encourage you to seek mental health support proactively. There is absolutely no shame in therapy. The stressors of navigating a society and a system that was never built to protect us can have debilitating impacts. High-functioning depression is real. Please prioritize your mental health and well-being and rest when you need to. It's Black History Month 2022, and the state of Black health and wellness can only be summed up, in my opinion, by W.E.B. Du Bois' words. A system cannot fail those who it was never meant to protect. True, but does that make it acceptable? Not on my watch. As I conclude, I will leave you with the words of scholar, activist, visionary, and disruptor, Dr. Angela Davis. I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I'm changing the things I cannot accept. How about you? Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Powell, for those important words and also your important work. Very moving there. At this time, let's welcome back one of our recipients this morning, Amaya Gillam, for another musical selection.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long, long time coming, but I know change's gonna come. Oh, yes it will.
All right, thanks so much, Amaya. At this time, we'll welcome Miss Narita Torriente. She's the communication manager for Columbia Gas, a longtime sponsor of the county's Black History Program and celebration, and a supporter of this scholarship event. Come on up.
Good morning. On behalf of Columbia Gas of Virginia and the NiSource Charitable Foundation, it's an honor to once again support the 21st Century Scholarship winners. At Columbia Gas of Virginia and NiSource, diversity, inclusivity, and equity have long been held corporate values. Columbia Gas knows that solutions for better and safe energy delivery comes from a cross-section of experiences and worldviews. In fact, NiSource will be welcoming Lloyd Yates, a longtime leader in the energy field and a gentleman of African American descent, as the CEO of NiSource Corporate in a few weeks. And the staff is very, very excited about that. Columbia Gas and NiSource takes great pride in supporting the next generation of leaders who will usher in a new era of energy use that is responsible, safe, and sustainable. As community leaders within their industries or as consumers. Congratulations to Kiani, Langston, Amaya, Nicole, and Hagabe, Timothy, and their families on their academic achievements. We are proud to support you in your educational endeavors. Thank you very much.
And thank you again, Ms. Torriente, and want to mention that this program continues to be a signature program of the Black History Month celebration because of sponsors like Columbia Gas being committed to our community and our students. So thank you again. And at this time, the reason we're all here, let's acknowledge our 6 scholarship winners, their parents, educators, and administrators for all their hard work and leadership. For the last 32 years, Chesterfield County and Virginia State University have hosted a number of programs during February to honor Black History Month, and today we are happy to honor several students who applied for the Leadership for the 21st Century Scholarship. That scholarship is open to Chesterfield resident students who attend a Chesterfield County public school or another nearby secondary school, Appomattox Regional Governor's School, Maggie L. Walker, and Code RVA. Students honored today will receive a scholarship for $2,500 to assist them as they pursue their high school education endeavors or post-high school education endeavors at a Virginia college or university. As part of their application process, each scholarship candidate wrote an essay reflective of the 2022 Black History Month theme, which focuses on the importance of Black health and wellness, as we've heard this morning. The theme acknowledges the legacy of not only Black scholars and medical practitioners in Western medicine, but also the ways of knowing throughout the African diaspora. Each scholarship recipient essay focused on identifying a Black individual in their life or leader who's positively impacted their development as a student, a leader, or an advocate. And it also describes the importance of issues, people, or factors that have impacted the health and well-being of the Black community in general. On behalf of the Chesterfield County Public Schools, with the United Partnership of Chesterfield County and Virginia State University, it is our honor to honor these 2022 six scholarship recipients for their academic achievement, strong community service, and leadership accomplishments. Each scholarship recipient has been presented with their scholarship certificate during an in-person pre-program by Dr. Doherty, Chesterfield County School Superintendent, the Honorable Kevin Carroll, Chesterfield County Board of Supervisors, Matoaka District Representative of the Matoaka District, and Dr. Abdullah from Virginia State University, he of course being the president. So let's all honor and welcome our honorees.
Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, scholarship recipients, family members, and invited guests. For the last 32 years, Chesterfield County and Virginia State University have hosted a variety of programs during February honoring Black History Month. Today, we are happy to recognize several students who applied for the Leadership for the 21st Century Scholarship. The scholarship is open to Chesterfield resident students who attend a Chesterfield County Public High School or attend another regional area secondary school, Appomattox Regional Governor's School, Maggie L. Walker, and Code RVA. Students recognized today will receive a scholarship for $2,500 to assist them as they pursue their post-high school education endeavors at a Virginia college. As part of their application, each scholarship candidate wrote an essay reflective of the 2022 Black History Month theme, which focused on the importance of Black health and wellness. Each scholarship recipient's essay focuses on identifying a Black individual in their life or a leader who has positively impacted the development of wellness in the Black community. The Bermuda District Scholarship recipient is Kiani Alvarado. Kiani attends Thomasdale High School with a current GPA of 4.47 and also attends the Chesterfield Career and Technical Center's Pharmacy Tech program. Kiani's plans are to attend a Virginia college and/or university with the intent of majoring in biomedical engineering. In tribute to this year's scholarship's theme related to health and wellness in the Black community, Kiani's essay highlighted aspects of the Affordable Care Act. In light of the last 2 years, statistics are published supporting documents which have revealed the disparity in health coverage between various ethnic groups. Even though there are varying factors as to why people within the Black community are not able to afford health care coverage, the Affordable Health Care Act permits individuals regardless of socioeconomic status the opportunity to obtain health care coverage, which has been a disparity for Blacks in the last pandemic. One doctor who has been an advocate devoting time to the Black community during the pandemic is Dr. Alla Stanford, a pediatric surgeon who established the Black Doctors COVID Consortium to assist residents in her hometown of Philadelphia in promoting vaccine awareness. The Clover Hill District Scholarship recipient is Langston Minor. Langston Minor attends Clover Hill High School with a current GPA of 3.97. He also attends the Chesterfield Career and Technical Center and is enrolled in the Occupational Therapy program. Langston's aspirations are to be a medical professor. Langston's essay focused on how the environment can impact the well-being of a person's health in relationship to the Black community, which has endured systemic pollutant health consequences throughout the decades. For example, oftentimes urban communities have an abundance of factory plants and businesses that breathe toxic fumes and pollutants along nearby landfills, which infers individuals living or residing in such neighborhoods can have increased health ailments. In an effort to raise awareness Organizations such as the Center of Race, Poverty, and Environment have brought an awareness how to achieve healthy, sustainable communities by lobbying for collective actions to support impacted communities. The Dale District Scholarship recipient is Amaya Gillam. Amaya attends L.C. Byrd High School and has a current GPA of 3.9. Amaya's post-high school plans are to attend a Virginia college or university with the intent of majoring in biology with aspirations on becoming a surgeon. According to Amaya, she states in her essay, Black health and wellness is a proposition that is often downplayed and underevaluated in the African American community. In light of this, Amaya's essay highlighted James McCune Smith, who attended the University of Glasgow in Scotland, since at that time in the 1800s, blacks were not accepted into universities. Dr. McCune Smith was the first black to earn a medical degree and served as a chief physician for orphan children of color in New York City whose parents either died or were not able to care for them. Dr. McCune Smith was an advocate for promoting an understanding about black health and wellness, which he published about in various essays and literacy scientific medical journals, refuting pseudoscientific claims of black inferiority and forecast the transformation impact African Americans were destined to make on world culture. The Matoaka District Scholarship recipient is Nicole Bland. Nicole attends Cosby High School and currently has a GPA of 4.27. Nicole's post-high school plans are to attend a Virginia college or university with the interest of majoring in a medical profession with aspirations of becoming a physician assistant. As a future physician, Nicole developed her essay around how the healthcare system in America precludes the African American community, not as a whole, but in parts from accessing affordable care, coverage, and preventative health care treatment. From her research in her writing of her essay, Nicole found numerous articles to support factors that indicate healthcare access has its disparities within the Black community. Within the onset of the Affordable Care Act, it has increased access to medical care and had been linked to potential better health diagnosis and care for individuals in the Black community. Even with improved access through ACA, progress is still needed to provide better health care for prevention. The Midlothian District Scholarship recipient is Ahabi Tawardos. Ahabi attends James River High School and currently has a GPA of 4.18. Ahabi also attends the Chesterfield Career and Technical Center's Dental Occupation Program. Ahabi's post-high school plans are to attend a Virginia college and/or university with the intent of majoring in pre-dentistry with the aspirations of becoming an orthodontist. Ahabi states in her essay, "Healthcare is a human right. Most Americans don't necessarily identify healthcare as a part of the civil rights movement. Consequently, the Healthcare Task Force of the Leadership Conference on Civil Rights Human Rights has developed principles to guide any next steps taken to improve access to healthcare for all and for the healthcare system, noting that addressing health inequities is a viable link to ensuring coverage for all." Ahabi concludes in her essay, "Understanding the success of the limitations echoed in the civil rights movement, look to how healthcare has been marginalized and how efforts should continuously persist to address racial health disparities." The Regional Area School at Large Scholarship recipient is Timothy Daniel. Timothy attends Appomattox Regional Governor's School and currently holds a 4.43 GPA. Timothy's post-high school plans are to attend a Virginia college or university with the intent of majoring in kinetic imaging, communication arts, with the aspirations of becoming an animator. Healthcare and wellness has so many factors that can have either good or negative conditions to a person's innate physical conditions. While much controversy is centered on healthcare coverage, not enough focus has been given to hereditary factors that affect families' health. For example, lifestyle, chronic health conditions, dietary consumptions, and/or mental health. Timothy's essay sheds light on the importance of understanding family genetic medical history, which can prevent and/or help individuals in maintaining health conscientious, a conversation that should be shared in Black families. In her role as First Lady, Michelle Obama's platform, Let's Move, geared toward helping young children in the Black community to promote physical activity and for promoting healthier eating habits in redesigning school meals. Another aspect of facing the health and well-being of African American mental health, Timothy eloquently ties in the theme of this year's essay with focusing on the importance of Black health and wellness with a quote from Russell Hancock, a psychotherapist. The mental state of the Black community is fragile. This is not a diagnosis, this is a characterization. Dr. Hancock believes it is important for African Americans, all in general, to seek out outlets to cope with anxiety and stress. Timothy perceives that this is important to be mentally stable to deal with life's challenges. Congratulations to all the scholarship recipients and all the best to them as they pursue their future goals. Here's a little quote to remember. Just breathe. You are strong enough to handle your challenges, wise enough to find a solution to your problems, and capable enough to do whatever needs to be done. By Lori Deshane.
Pretty impressive, huh? Yeah, I'd say so. Well, thanks to the Scholarship Committee for their hard work, Donna Charles Koski, Lauren Wynn, Audra Boyce, Mary Martin Selby, Anna Redding, Maya Johnson, Rodney Hall, and Michelle Wilder. And let's also clap one more time for our recipients, their parents, all their teachers, and administrators for all their work. Well, again, it's been an honor to be with you today to host this event. It certainly was inspiring and motivational, to say the least. And thanks again to our in-person audience and folks who are joining us virtually as well for being here. And once again, thank you to our sponsors, Chesterfield County, Virginia State, Columbia Gas, Dominion Energy, Virginia Credit Union, Chesterfield Parks and Recreation, the Honorable James and Judith Holland, and the Honorable Christopher Winslow. And today's virtual viewing would not have been possible without the collaboration of county and school staff. So thanks to Chesterfield County Communications and Media and Information Systems Technology Departments and Chesterfield County Schools Communications and Community Engagement Office for their coordination. And lastly, as we conclude today, a big thank you to the Black History Month Celebration Committee members, and that includes Yordonis James, James Kelly, Jennifer Shepley, Regina Tyler, Lauren Wynn, Donna Koski, Tanya Lebo, Audra Boyce, and of course, Kimberly Conley, for their work in planning a full month of activities, and they encourage you to take part in what's left for the rest of the month. Head to chesterfield.gov to find out what that might be. Thanks again for being here. Have a great day.